Esports from Indonesia. Who do you think is going to win? Let us know in the comments as we get into the game for Game 1 of the best of 3 between ONIC Esports and ONIC PH.
And Hated. Oh, it's going to be Hated. So a bit of a change name right there. And Yaknu will be playing under the top side, while Blitz in the bottom with the Lar. And this Lapu Lapu will have a bit of those skirmish early on.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Esmeralda in the early game definitely is something you don't want to fight off against a Lapu Lapu. And he's going to have to play that lane very, very passively. D-Lar also got banned out with his fam, so that's one option that was a little bit weird to get banned out in the second rotation. We'll have to wait and see. As we are seeing that ONIC is just basically giving over the purple buff to this Hellcurt.
Yes, as Yaknu is running low against this 1-1. The aggression is there, and they can easily take advantage of this lane. There's no aggressive rotations yet, and as how well the Kyrie and San just working on their way with their own buff, with their own jungle. No one's really pulling the trigger on denying any of the jungle rotations.
Yep, and the jungle is something that you gotta watch out for, right? This is a Hellcurt with the Retribution. There's gonna be a lot of early level 4s coming in for this Hellcurt. A lot of early level 4 ultimates. But top lane is gonna be the focus here for ONIC Indonesia.
And they are going in. Tempest of Blades will be dropped, but Sands, Jay for the backup. Rasi and Sasa, just a 3-man here, wanted to take the crab coin easily. And easy gold for that Ling.
Yep. And again, the Ling is something, you don't need to focus too much on this Ling. I think the one that we need to watch out for will be definitely this Wan. How well can Sasa play? Sasa, again, something that any hero you give this guy, it just works so well, right? And one of the most veteran players in this game for sure so far.
Ooh.
Getting a lot. There you go.
Bit of debate out, but Liaknu is having a hard time denying this 1-1 with all of those farm. ONIC PH needs some good amount of attention here just to make sure that they can deny that 1-1. But right now, rotations from Jay and Kyrie, they just wanted to take the crab coin for themselves.
That's right, and this crab coin is going to be very useful, obviously. And the gold lead is something that I have to look out for. 300 gold at this point is actually not bad. For ONIC PH, Indonesia definitely going to be ahead though. And Jay
will be captured, and that's going to be the first blood in the hands of ONIC ID.
So that's something that we've seen before. We've seen Drian and Sasa face off against Jay way back in MSC. They have faced off against each other before, and obviously they were still going to be the dominant performers there. And I think Indonesia is also the dominant performer here right now. But we'll have to wait and see if that's going to change, as we do see the ONIC PH having a very strong engagement around the Zaman Force of Hated.
And they are going to take the turtle as well, but onto the backup. Here comes Jay with that Hurricane Dance, catching the back line. Sasa running low, but proccing more of the shields, but that's going to be the Cho taking down even more with Tempest of Blades coming in from Sands. But is there any chance that she can take down someone? But that's going to be more kills as a 3-2 into our current scoreboard.
What a hot battle, and you see ONIC PH turning the tides, getting the gold lead right away from ONIC Indonesia. We'll have to wait and see what happened there on the replay.
And you can clearly see as how well they wanted to focus. But Sans, this Ling doesn't have any items yet to be bold enough. Hated, Delar, and Jay was able to put him down, and good eyes onto that Ling.
Yep, that Ling is something that you are, again, I said it earlier, we can't focus on that right away because the power levels of this hero is just not quite there yet. So we were looking at Sasa. He was also kind of taken by surprise. Very aggressive maneuver there for ONIC PH. With Hated just having a great time on the Zaman Force. It was perfectly placed in that regard.
Yeah, Hated was able to dish a lot of damage. It was a free cast all around. And Delar, he was able to box out the backline. ONIC ID think twice in terms of engaging as far as they are concerned. But Rasi right now, Zaman Force 1 is again being trolled. 4-man, ONIC PH is going in. Sasa and Drian wasn't really able to do something about that, as another kill coming in to our scoreboard for ONIC PH.
Yep, and ONIC PH looking really good so far in the early game. 5 minutes into the game, they are ahead in almost 1,000, while ONIC Indonesia, right now on the bottom lane, will be taking a turret for themselves, almost evening it up.
Yes, but ONIC PH wasn't really able to answer that. No defense. And the top side wasn't really something that they wanted to exchange. So Turtle, this is one of the objectives that you wanted to consider in for the take.
You have to ask yourself, how well is this Hellcurt actually working out well for ONIC PH? D-Lard, though, making a statement saying, I can take this lane, I'm going to get a kill. And he does. Turtle is now going to be the next one for ONIC PH. Will they get it, though?
The damage is there, but the Turtle is being focused. Tempest of Blades once again. Sands was able to take down Jay and looking for more. Kyrie a bit of low right here. Dilar and Liaknu for the backup, but Razi with that spiral spear wasn't really able to kill anyone, but then fend them off as Jay and Kyrie will be taken out by ONIC ID.
Very impressive there from Sans. Under pressure with 3 people from ONIC PH taking out the Turtle. You know what he said? I'm going to take this for myself. Going for Finch Poise makes him basically impossible to crowd control with the current heroes of ONIC PH. A lot of the ONIC PH stuns are close range. This 1,000-pounder, this Way of the Dragon, so there was no way they were going to catch Sans right there. And Sans, he took advantage.
Yeah, the Tempest of Blades really catching 2-man in person, and it was a free sword all around that reaches more damage. So as Ling, you wanted to pick up all of those to prop even more damage that's needed to take Jay out and Kyrie.
Yeah, that was a big question mark here for ONIC PH. Very questionable, but we'll have to wait and see. They'll be able to come back from that. Of course, the Turtle buff going into Sans on that Ling is just big. It just turns the tide. And when you're a Ling, you always want to have this Turtle buff on you. That's exactly what they have now. How can they take advantage, though, in ONIC? Can they still make use of the Hellcurt? We'll have to wait and see, because that's something you can do. You can use the Hellcurt to deny the movements of the Ling with Dark Knight Falls. And I think they're doing that right now on the bottom lane as well.
But Dilar will be visited by Sans and Rassi into the back line. Jay will be present. Just wanted to sneak around to make sure that they are safe. But then again, towers might be going down from top and middle as 4-man from ONIC ID will converge here. Hated. Zaman Force popping it off. Drian and Sasa, too much damage. They are catching in. Jay with the Hurricane Dance puts him into the wall, but the damage isn't enough to really take down someone, and that's Imperial Justice as they are going to take another life at ONIC PH.
Very nice try from Jay there. He wanted to go and get Rossi behind the dead turret. But again, there was just too many threats. Kyrie going in for the Dark Knight Falls. It won't happen, though.
That was bad for Kyrie. That's a bit too much for the Turtle that they wanted to go in.
Counterplay.
The Zaman Force again. Dilar will be surviving with more shields. Rian free casting all around. Searing Torrent, Sasa, and Sands following up with more damage. Hurricane Dance blocking Sands into the wall, pushing everyone out, and that's going to be ONIC ID will disengage as ONIC PH will take the life of Razzie and Butts.
They've got a lot of crowd control. We're just lacking on the damage right now, or maybe the decision to go for the damage output. But that's not going to be the case there. Taking out Sasa in one fell swoop. Going to be traded right there by Sands, though. I guess that's not bad. So far, ONIC Indonesia still ahead in the goal.
Good play with that Jit Kendo and the finisher. But then they got Liaknu as well. Bit of a good of a trade, but then ONIC ID is still the ones who's being aggressive with that Ling pick.
Again, on the replay, you'll see that the Turtle was still the big objective for Sans. There was no way they were going to out-smite or out-retribution this guy. D-Lard, though, great ultimate and the re-engage. I was so hopeful for this one that there was something that's going to happen. But still, ONIC Indonesia is just so ahead right now in terms of map control here.
Yes.
Not even in the items, not even in the gold. Just look at how they are controlling the map. Even with Sasa 1-2-2 on the Wan, they're still ahead.
Yeah, you have the Link that's controlling the early game. You have also Gian that's free casting all around, doing the job as someone who wants to push away anyone who wants to be aggressive towards this Wan. He has not a big of a numbers or scores yet, but the gold is in favor for ONIC ID as Jay will be caught out once again, needs to use the Hurricane Dance just to save himself. And ONIC ID, they are inside the jungle. They are gaining the information that they wanted to and forcing out ONIC PH to use their resources.
Now, what is ONIC PH gonna do? Kyrie, he can't really step out too much because he is 0, 3, and 4. Will they be able to contest this Lord? That is what we're looking for here. Jay, he is trying to see if he can get some targets here with that Hurricane Dance, and it will not be effective. D-Lord, though, getting to take out Sasa once more.
And here comes Jay being left into the fight. Hated, looking for Gian.
Nice.
Yakno as well, but Butts into the back line, still looking for more. Jay with the Hurricane Dance locking in this Esmeralda, and this might be it. Falling Storm will be used. Salmon Force, way up the dragon, way into the hell, and that's going to be the kill that they need. But Sans onto the split bus. That's going to be Kyrie. He's going to go head-to-head with Sans, but Sans is a bit slippery and quick. He's going to escape.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The moment Sans goes up and Finch poisons, it's so difficult for ONIC PH to actually reach him. But you did see Yaknu. He can make some plays when given a chance. He got a huge kill under the tower for that one. And they will get the Lord for this one. 11 minutes and 43 seconds into the game.
Yes, and ONIC PH might be losing a lot of their towers, but then again, ONIC ID playing into their own favors. Once they knew that they are going to lose the battle, Sans pulled the trigger on taking the mid lane instead of joining or looking for more kills.
Yep, more kills is definitely something that they're always looking for, but the problem is, again, ONIC, they're just not giving it up. As a utility, Kyrie is doing very well on the hell curve. As the main carry, that's going to be DLR for sure, as well as Hated, 7-0 and 4 on this Harith.
Yes, we are questioning this first pick Harith, but then he's really showing that he's really good in using this hero, convincingly throwing all of those 7-4s at every clash he stayed in, taking all the kills, staying even more and looking for the rightful targets to push ONIC ID out of their way.
Yep, and ONIC Indonesia just trying to take it slow on the defense. They're waiting it out on the Lord, on the top lane. Meanwhile, of course, see a big engagement onto that Lord with no one left to defend it means that it is not going to do as much damage as it should, but that did enough to sway the gold in favor of ONIC PH.
Yes, and with that gold advantage, they need to itemize really wise just to make sure that they can take head-on ONIC ID, and they're going to successfully take the bottom tower. That's something that you need to... Oh, Rossi being pushed into the wall. Kyrie proccing the darkness, and this will be a Zaman Force again from Hated, as the Lar will be on a good side as ONIC ID will completely disengage.
Beautiful Dark Knight falls there just for the utility. He didn't even need to hit anyone. Making sure that he can blind the enemy is already doing enough. But as I said, DLR versus the Esmeralda, that's a difficult fight to take. Ultimately going to be used up just to scare them away. Kind of gives a leeway at least to ONIC PH.
Indeed, the bravest fighter as he overextended. And even though that they lost the Lord earlier, they still able to take more of their gold back into their own favor, taking the tower onto the bottom. But then again, there's still the last second tower into the mid lane, and after they're going to take that, it will open up the whole map or the whole jungle of ONIC ID in for their own taking.
So apparently we have two big utility players for either team. For ONIC PH, that's Kyrie on the Hellcurt, and for ONIC Indonesia, of course, that's Rossi on that Sylvana. Now he also has that Winter Truncheon. How well will that save them? And how well will that add to the damage output of this already scary Sylvana? Kyrie has a lot of to catch up on. But I think he is on the way. He is doing pretty good in getting at least not dying anymore.
Yeah.
At least, right, on the Hellcourt. So that's at least something for ONIC PH on the jungler side.
Is there any chance that Liaknu might wanted to go for Sands? A bit of a bait right there as four members of ONIC ID might be converging to Liaknu. 18 seconds before the Lord.
Top
They
lane.
wanted to take down someone for a 4 versus 5. Goes for the flicker. Liaknu is in a bad spot as he might be going down. Immortality will be procced also.
Oh my gosh.
But just want to make sure that he isn't going anywhere, and this might be Onyx ID to go head-to-head with the Lord, or they wanted to go for the push.
That's just pretty big. And that is a huge loss there for ONIC PH losing Iaknu. He also just they basically also just removed the immortality onto that guy, and now they could go for the Lord if they wanted to. Indonesia can really get a lot of control here in this one big swoop.
Yes, and that's the advantage of ONIC ID right now, a 4 versus 5. But then they wanted to make sure that they can still take head on as ONIC PH is slowly moving. Jay not catching anyone out, but 2-man Hurricane Dance, but Sands is still there, popping off into the darkness as Kyrie is looking for the targets, but Hated is doing all the work with all those Zaman Force being dropped. He might be being caught out as well. Synchro Vision. Here comes the backup. Rozzy running low. Got the immortality, but Liaknu is going to back. That's going to be more vengeance. He wanted to revenge. And that's the Zaman Force again from Hated. Looking for bigger targets. And here comes the Lord for ONIC PH.
ONIC PH really recovering very well from that big engagement from ONIC Indonesia. They almost got the Lord, but they were able to deny just in time. Fighting 4v5 to make sure that they don't lose right away.
Oh, Tempest of Blades once again being used by Sands. He's a bit of a low life right there. But Butts wanted to go in, wants to go for a head-to-head battle, but Jay with the Hurricane Dance locking up Butts. He might be the one who's tanky enough, but Jay and Hated for the backup. G on Sasa. Sands is there to take down Hate.
And the shutdown onto Hated. Just bit off a little bit more than they could chew. And that was one of the longest engagements I've seen with that Harif. And wow, that was just a lot of happenings there all of a sudden.
Yeah, with one Lord, they are losing left and right with the exchange. But right now, Delar wanted to go for a Bravest Fighter steal right here. Retribution for Kyrie any moment right now that they wanted to out Retribution ONIC ID, but they're going to let it go as Jay will be discovered. Sasa, Drian, and Rossi will go for a big chase. Hurricane Dance isn't going to save himself, and another kill from ONIC ID.
It's just so difficult to move with a Valier. This is what I'm talking about even before the match started. Drian's not doing a majority of the kills, but he is definitely doing a lot of hurt into the melee heroes, in the short-range heroes of ONIC PH. And ONIC Indonesia, now they have the Lord. They can start walking up on the mid.
Yes, and as the Lord marching into the mid lane, accompanied by the ID squad. 4 members just wanted to make sure that they can still go for a split. As Sands is opening the bottom side, damage is there. It will be enough to open the doors, and even the top side being focused as the Lord will be marching into the base itself. Here comes the Zaman Force being used by Hated to clear the wave. Tempest of Blades for survivability, and he is going to save or bail out quickly.
Yeah, very quick bailout there. ONIC Indonesia, they don't need to go for the kill right away. They can just wait for the big turrets to get taken out, and that's exactly what they're doing. Inhibitor turret for ONIC PH are now down. It's going to make their defense even a lot harder.
Yes, it was a good call coming in from ONIC ID. They wanted to make sure that no one's going to pick off Sands. They wanted to focus the choke. Liaknu, he was down, started ONIC ID started the Lord 9 seconds before the respawn time for Cho, but then again another fight erupts. Really good searing torrents to push everyone out. Rossi in the middle of the fight, even Butts both tanky fighters. Would they want to go in? Jay running low. Here's the Hurricane Dance. Sans looking for more damage as Iyakno is running down low as well. Delar, the Lapu Lapu isn't going enough to fend everyone off as ONIC ID is marching inside the base.
Possibly the last team fight here on PH. They're looking, trying to defend, trying to clear the main waves, but Hated, he wants to go for the back line, wants to go for the kill.
Hated.
He takes out the Ling. Can they get more though?
And here comes Kyrie, wanted to save the game. Hated being focused down, Delar running low also, but Kyrie is healthy. He wanted to go for more damage as Sasa being focused, but they are focusing the base. Sasa with all the work, and Kyrie isn't enough for ONIC PH to save.